Welcome back. Our first episode of our long awaited show is finally here. This is our very first episode on YouTube. Okay. And this is our very first episode. So, this will be about one of the most unpredicted teams this year, and the team that's been in the NBA playoffs for quite some long time, the Utah Jazz. And before we begin, the most famous highlight from them in the playoffs is where they were cheated by the refs against OKC in their playoff series back in 2019, I believe. Yeah, 2019. Could be 2018, but 2019, if it works for me. So, we're going to begin. Let's see how the Utah Jazz are going to do this year. In my opinion, based on what happened with free agency and player options, the Utah Jazz are going to be having a slight chance of going to the playoffs this year. And so let's see. So Jordan Clarkson has re-signed a 3-year contract for $55 million per ESPN. And in exchange for cash, Damian Jones, a player who is benched on the Jazz, and he's been hopping around many different NBA teams, has been traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers once again in exchange for money. So, the biggest prediction and the biggest trade, and I honestly agree with this trade, Damian Lillard to the Utah Jazz is what Utah wants. And not only Utah, this is what Damian Lillard wants. So let's see. So the perfect trade. Jazz must offer for the Blazers. So Damian Lillard traded to the Utah Jazz. And so the Blazers receive Colin Sexton, Talon Horton-Tucker, Taylor Hendricks, he was a number 9 pick in this year's draft, 2020, and 2 first-round picks. And the Utah Jazz will receive Damian Lillard and star center Jusuf Nurkic. And the Utah Jazz, Nurkic can be a good bench player, or he can be a good starter for Walker Kessler, who's entering his second season and did very splendid with Lauri Markkanen last year, even though they had no shot of going to the playoffs. Well, number one, we all know Mike Conley Jr. got traded mid-season, and I think for the Jazz, waiving Westbrook was a terrible idea because he's done a terrific job for the LA Clippers. So I believe this trade works. Lauri Markkanen and Damian Lillard should get along together because we know that Utah may not have another Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert relationship. Well, not a relationship, partnership for a few years. 2022 season. I've been to the Jazz game against the Warriors at Chase Center. That time, Donovan Mitchell tells everybody, do not let Rudy Gobert have the ball. He's going to ball hog it. He airballed an open 3 last year. He's just a post-up player, and last year he was not having it with Minnesota. But it wasn't until the start of last year where Utah figured out the problem was only him and not Spider Mitchell to Cleveland. And technically, loyal Jazz fans knew that it was all Rudy Gobert. Like, we get it. He's a post-up player. He's won Defensive Player of the Year several times. But he's not the teammate you want to be with. So anyway, this Damian Lillard trade, in my opinion, works very well to me. And I want to see if this will work on both sides. And that's the end of today's episode. We'll be posting again in a few more days. So we'll catch you next time. And please watch the intro. It's kind of funny.